I was thinking, and I was thinking about all of this, like the networking stuff, the talking with people, about the environment that you're in, and also about sales. Because sales is actually all about energy transfer. What do I mean with that? Well, if you are like, if you have a lot of like positive energy, you think, this is like amazing, then the other person will feel it too. But if your energy is low, if your energy is down, then the other person will feel down as well. And this works like in all connections. So in sales, like, what do you have to do? Well, you need to have conviction, because conviction is the number one most important thing when it comes to sales. Like, would you buy your own offer? If the answer is no, then you have a problem. Now the next question, would you buy your offer for the price that you currently are having? If the answer is no, then you also have a problem. Like when I first started, I created my offer, and it was around focus. So like channeling all of your time and energy towards like one specific topic. It was around effectiveness. So that basically means like working on the high leverage tasks, so you don't waste time working on the things that doesn't move you forward. And the third is efficiency, like creating a system that is a routine of habits, and that basically increases both the speed and the quality of your work. Now, I had that offer, right? But like when I first got a mentor, he said like, oh yeah, you should sell it for like $500 a month. And I said like, $500 a month? Like, I wouldn't even buy my own offer for like $500 a month. So how would I expect like anyone else to do so, right? So if I would hop on calls and ask for $500 per month, I wouldn't have conviction. So I wouldn't make any sales. So I thought, okay, you know what? Like, what is a fair price? Maybe a fair price is like $250. Okay, fine. Like, will I ask $250? No, because that is not enough conviction. So I said like, would I buy my offer for $100 per month? Yes, $100 per month is like an absolute steal. And there you have the conviction. So then I hopped on the calls by thinking, okay, I'm making this guy like a great deal, and if he says no, then it is his loss. Because and when you go with that mindset on sales calls, the people like can feel that energy. Basically, they can feel like, oh, this is like a good deal. And because you feel it as well. Now when you feel yourself like, oh, like I'm basically like scamming people, like, then they will feel it as well. And this is not only true when it comes to sales, but this is true for a lot of different things. Because like, okay, so first of all, like what we are in basically in this whole online business space, nobody gets it. Everybody think it's like a scam. So whenever I had like a great idea, or when I was like really excited about a win or something like that, I told people who are not in this world, and I had a lot of good energy, but then I told it to them, but they kind of give this like low energy answer back, and I would feel kind of demotivated, and I like in like a split second I wasn't very excited anymore for basically the things that I did. So right now, I'm in Barcelona with someone who is doing the exact same thing as I am doing, and when I say, hey, like I got this win, he said, yeah, let's go, bro. And like it's it's like uplifting. So it works two ways around, right? Because your energy is influencing your environment, the energy of your environment is influencing you. So what do we need to do? First of all, like, choose a good environment, because like, yeah, and of course it's not always possible to like switch your environment in an instant, but like focus on the things what are in your control. Like what pieces of your environment can you change? You know, maybe you have some friends who are like making fun of you because you start an online business. Well, fuck them, you know. Make like an online business and like find people who are doing like something similar as you are doing. And that is kind of like the key, right? So let me sit down really quickly. So yeah, like my life started to change when I started to choose what is in my environment, yes or no. You know, I started to talk way more with people who are doing the similar things. I started watching YouTube videos from people who did similar things, and that gave me like the right state of mind. And right now, when I am like actually living with someone like this, it is like amplified so much. And you know, like what we are doing, we can use it for the best, because I see like a huge shift. You know, like the I feel like the whole entire world is like very pessimistic. Yeah, the whole world is going down, you know, AI will like eat us alive, things like that. There's going to be war, all of these things. I don't watch the news, I don't watch politics, you know, I don't want anything to do with it, because it gives you the wrong type of energy, and that is not a useful energy when you want to be very optimistic about like starting a business, you know. So when it comes to that, when it comes to choosing what you are, what energy you allow into your life, you know. And what starts to happen is you will start to, because your environment has just as much influence as on you as you have on your environment. What does that mean? Well, so I don't want to go too deep into like the philosophy side of things, but basically like every inside has an outside and every outside has an inside. What does that mean? That, like, for example, if you have a coin, right, and you remove like one side of this coin, then the other side will disappear as well. You know, that's the non-duality principle. Like, light can only be defined in reference to darkness. If there was no darkness, then there was no light. And similar is like a lot of things. Like, if there was no cold, then there was no heat. If there was no life, then there was no death. And also what I am trying to say is basically, if for every inside there is an outside, and for every outside then there was an inside. If there wasn't an inside, then there wasn't an outside. If there wasn't an outside, then there wasn't an inside. So you could describe a human being only in his environment. You know, like if you just describe a person but in space, you know, like a person walking, but in space, like he's like doing weird things. But like you, like to describe a person, you also need to describe like air, you know, because he's breathing the air. You need to explain like the sun, you know, the food that he's digesting, like the ground that he is walking on, and a lot of different things. So basically, you and the universe are inherently like the same thing. So yes, of course your environment has influence on you, but also you are influencing your environment. And when you find like a group of people who are doing like similar things, who are also having the same optimistic mindset, then you will get more people with you. You know, like there is this principle called game theory, where basically like that's too much to explain, but basically like if everyone is trying to like the split or steal, you know, and like it's better of course if you choose split for yours or steal for yourself, because that is more chance like you will have more money. So if you're purely like selfish, you know, or rational, basically you choose the steal basically. But what starts to happen is when you don't have one interaction but multiple, then the best thing becomes cooperation. And when this starts to happen, this cooperation, you know, like it is addictive, because it is the better way. Because when you cooperate with other people, then you will see way more success, then you will see way more results. So right now what we are doing is cooperating. We are basically like forming a movement, you know. We see, okay, the world is going in that direction, we don't want to go in that direction, let's go the other way. And now, you know, I earn 10k per month, I can live in Spain, you know, life is good. Now what will other people think? They think, maybe I should try something like that as well, you know. So slowly but surely I think we can start a movement and like change the whole entire direction of society. And I truly think that is what we are doing right now, because obviously this is the better way, right? Like a year ago I was still like struggling, you know, having a 9-to-5. I didn't like it. Now I'm like really happy and fulfilled, and I earn a very comfortable living from it. So yeah, like I'm just grateful to be able to do something like this. And yeah, so like I know it can feel a little bit like alone, right? Because it feels like you're walking this path alone. Try to find people similar like you. Try to network with them, hop on calls with them first of all, you know. And that is what I did. I've hopped on like 400 calls in the past year, and that helps a lot. Now I know it's not the same as like directly living with somebody, but it is something. It is a start that will change your energy, you know. Then if you stick together with that group of people, eventually you will have a huge influence on your environment, and that is how you can make an impact. So you can make an impact and an income. Now what is better than that? I don't know. So yeah, I hope this all makes sense. A lot of these topics are pretty deep, difficult to understand. So yeah, the game theory thing, the non-duality thing, like I am not the best to explain these things. Yes, but there are many people who are able to explain these things, you know. So watch it on YouTube if you don't understand those topics yet, and slowly but surely you will start to get it. That is what happened with me as well. So yeah, keep going, find your people, change the world, make money. Bye bye.